Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Football 2019, episode 24. What you just saw was a miracle. No, not so much a miracle, but a first down. The first down of the game on the sixth possession combined between the two teams. Louisville, our opponent, they are 1-1 on the season, and yes, this is the same Louisville who has been a top 10 team in recent times in real life, but in game is unranked. Decent return there. That's going to give Louisville some decent field position. In their first three possessions, they have a total yardage of 2. And there's their first down of the game on their now fourth possession. On our third possession, we got our first down by inches and then punted on the next set of downs. But now things start to seem to be opening up a bit as Louisville gains another 8 yards, gets another first down, so 2 first downs in a row back-to-back on this drive, and they are starting to move the ball pretty well. It seemed inevitable at first, but the defense really was stepping up. Now they're stepping down. Another 8 yards there on first down sets up a second and very short. They're going to run to the outside, off tackle, and they pick up just 1 yard, so that leaves a third and short. They're going to drop to pass on this one, and it's going to fall incomplete, so no first down there. So after really struggling through their first 3 drives, they get the ball moving this time. They nearly get to the red zone, and they're going to have to settle for a 42-yard field goal attempt, which is good. So Louisville opens the score at 3-0. Like I said, this has been a defensive battle so far. It's not been a bunch of drops or anything like that. It has been good defensive play by both teams early on. Maggard with a really nice return there. Gets the ball all the way out to the 36-yard line. That's going to give us good field position. And that's what we've been seeing a lot of. Both teams' lines, offense and defense, have been pretty balanced. We've only seen 1 sack in the game so far. We're not getting a lot of backfield penetration by either team. But what we are getting is the line is not moving. And so every run hits the line and is shut down immediately. So that's kind of where we're at. So at this point, 3rd and 10 from the 49, so we've made it to midfield. We've had another first down, so we're moving the ball a little bit, but only a little. Fumble that time, but Gabriel picks up his own fumble. Marion, tackle, or guard, lineman anyway. Marion is injured on that one, so hopefully nothing too severe. We end up having to settle for a punt, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. Louisville gonna get okay field position again. Couldn't tack them back inside the 10. 7 yards on their first play. And now it's not dominant control by any means, but Louisville is starting to get a grip on this game. But it looks like we could be in for a closer battle than what I had expected initially, as our defense is definitely slowing them down, and our offense is starting to move the ball at least a little bit. So in terms of the yardage game, we're not crazy far behind, but this is by far the best opponent that we've played to this point, or at least on paper in real life. How they are in game at this point, 4 years down the road, I couldn't tell you for sure, other than that they are not ranked right now. On the first down, up to the 30. That pass, is it intercepted? Is it? No, incomplete. Oh, it was caught! What? Oh, Maggard, I thought Maggard had that. Somehow it falls into his hands. That one's dropped. 3rd and 4 now. Can we force another field goal attempt here? Just outside the the red zone. That would be a big step for us. That look intercepted, and he's going back the other way to the 45. Take it out of the 45, gets it to midfield. That's Maggard on the interception. Big return, too, gives us good field position. No score that time for Louisville, so they get down just outside the red zone twice, and they come away with 3 points and a turnover. So, again, defense, they're in a bend, but not break mode so far in this game through the first quarter. Unfortunately, we're only able to get 3 yards on 3 plays, and we're at the 50, so we're going to have to punt. And it looks like another touchback. From there, you don't mind that so much. That's 50 yards on that punt. Probably hit the ground and rolled. Big gain on first. 10 yards, that's a first down. It's actually the best kind of first down you can ever give up. Just enough for the first. If you go second and inches from there, that gives them a lot of leeway, a lot of opportunity to do something. And I would much rather have the instant first down by a couple inches. That at least, that counter resets and they're no longer, 4th and 2. So they don't get the first down from there. And they are going to punt. And again, defense bending the bit. They give up a first down. They give up another 8 yards, so they give up 18 yards on the drive. But we get the ball back. Maggard unfortunately picks that up at the 1 yard line and gets a 12-yard return to the 13. No idea what he's doing on that play, but we get our first quality run here by Kirkwood. Goes for 11 yards, and he gets the first down. We throw from first. And see, again, this would have been one of those nice opportunities if it was 2nd and 1 instead of just enough for the first down. And we end up throwing that away on second. Now it's going to be 3rd down. Now we're 3rd and 10, just like that. And we run up the middle. Where nothing up the middle has gone well in this game. I would not have made that call. If I were making the calls, I could make the play calls, but that would really slow this playthrough down considerably. And as we are trying to build a program from the ground up, that's not the focus. Maybe one of these days, though, maybe when we hit that point that we are playoff contender, we'll say. Maybe then we switch out of the autoplay call, make our own calls, play the complete games. Of course, that's like an episode is one game of the season. So trying to get through numerous seasons is a bit out of the question at that point. But the AI makes so many questionable play calls, like a draw on 3rd and long. Why? Why would you make that call 5 times a game? At best, a team will do that once a game to really try to catch the other team off guard. But it rarely ever works out, which is why you see it so infrequently. And yet somehow the AI on this game absolutely loves that play call. I see it probably 80% of 3rd and long is a draw. Terrible punt, decent return. Ouch. We had really bad field position. We moved the ball a little bit. We get forced into a punt, and then we end up with not only a terrible punt, but a decent return out of it to give Louisville absolutely phenomenal field position here. Start the possession from our end of the field. A first down on the first set. And now 2nd and 11. At least we stopped them in the backfield on that one. Back them up a little bit. From the 32, they're going to drop the pass. He's going to come across behind the other receiver. Buys a little space. Gets completion. 8 yards gained. 3rd and 3. They're going to drop the pass again. Come on. Stop it. Please don't be a catch. It's not. It falls incomplete. It's 4th and 3. just outside of the red zone again for the third time. In 3 possessions, they've managed 2 field goals and an interception. So Louisville is clearly a better team than we are. Clearly. But we're not a bad team. And we are hanging in there. We're playing at home. And it's still a 1-score game. 1 touchdown, and we lead this game. So, as we take a sack on this one, just to reiterate the point that Louisville is the better team. But we're not completely out of it. Oh boy, a catch there and a shake off of that quarterback would have been a touchdown, but Pittman drops the ball. Not sure what that was, but it's 4th and 16 now, and at least it wasn't a draw on 3rd and long. Oh, the punt's blocked! Uh-oh. Punt's blocked. It falls dead on its tracks. And Louisville gets possession from the 20. So now they get their first trip actually into the red zone. Yeah, a special teams mishap. Oh, that was first? I thought it said incomplete. Exactly 10 yards gain there. Now 2nd and 10 after no gain on first. Another run on 2nd is going to go for short, just 1 yard. 3rd and 9 from the 9. This is a tough spot for Louisville. Can we hold it to 3 field goals? And 1 interception, wide open. Wide open. How did he get that wide open? We're in some sort of zonal coverage. I've got 3 guys on the back of the end zone guarding either 1 receiver or 2. There might have been 2 guys about to cross each other there at the back of the end zone. Now Louisville opens up the floodgates, and it's 13-0. Let's go ahead and skip to the end of this game. We're not 100% out of this, as it's only 2 scores, and there's plenty of game left to play, and we're playing as well as can be expected. Big first down there. He's got a little bit of room to run after the catch, but 2 defenders on him, and Stevens taken down by Reedy. But it's first down. Watch a couple more plays here. Can we answer? Can we answer and stay in this game? Because Louisville is starting to pull away. They're pretty much 1 score away from this being too much. There's the catch. He had to retreat for it, though. He's going to turn. Gets the first down and more. Has to run away to the sideline as he knows he's being caught. So Pittman turns away from the defenders and ends up losing a bit of yardage on what he could have gained. He gets 19 yards anyway, and we get into Louisville territory. It's about the deepest we've been now into their territory, and on 2nd and 10, we get a really nice run by Kirkwood, 9 yards there on the counter left. Just 3rd and 1, short gain. Oh, we're gonna throw, catch it! Same play, retreats, McNair drops it. It was comebacks. Oh, we're going for it. 4th and 1. The pitch on the option right. It comes up well short. We lose yardage. Gabriel, -1 yard. Shanks gets him in the backfield. Turnover on downs. There wasn't going to be much difference in terms of field position. Yardage gained. About 15 yards. So at that point, it was worth it to go for it. And because we weren't getting much of anything up the middle, I actually don't mind the play call on the option right. It just didn't go anywhere. Sack on that one, 3rd and 13. Can we stop them? We've at least stopped the momentum game. 4th and 12, we're going to get the ball back. But, again, it's time. CPU finish. Like I said, we're still in this game. It's not over yet, but 5% chance of winning this one, as Louisville is clearly the better team. And yes, and actually it looked uglier than I think it should have been, 37-7. The offense, just about there. The defense, just about there. The loss looked worse than it should have been. Yeah, big play, 65-yard. We ended up with a big play finally to get ours, 47-yarder. There's a 58-yarder, so it was big plays in the end for Louisville, something we didn't have up until the sim point. First downs 19-9, so again, they did not move the ball well at any point during this game. They just got some big yardage on a handful of plays. I mean, you're looking at 150 yards worth just on 3 plays. Take that away, and all of a sudden they're looking at 400 yards for the entire game, which isn't a lot. Completions for attempts. Again, this game could have been a lot worse than it was. We had the one fumble, but it was picked up. That was the only one. They had one fumble lost. No other turnovers after the one we already saw, the interception. Where, not an awful rating. It's an okay rating for that game. Better than what we had a couple seasons ago. Week in, week out. Kirkwood, Gabriel, they tried. They were both over 4 yards on the average. Nothing major. One big play for Gabriel, and that's actually the bulk of his yards. The other 14 attempts barely netted any yards whatsoever, so Kirkwood actually did a better job. His biggest gain was 11, so he actually was consistently getting some yardage. Receiving spread out a bit. Kicking, Clark never had an attempt. No missed attempts, perfect 3 for 3 for the kicking crew from Louisville. By the way, I am saying that right. I should know. I was stationed just south of Louisville at Fort Knox for a few years when I was in the Army. That is absolutely how they say it. Might not be how everybody else says it, but that's the locals. That's how they refer to it. So 40-yard average, 2 of them down inside the 20 on 15 punts. Holy cow. A lot of short possessions, 3 and outs in that game, especially at the start. Ham, 10 tackles and the forced fumble and a pass deflection. Really good day for him. Duffy, 9 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 sack. So that's a good day. Meyer, 9, 2, and the fumble recovery. So those are your clear stars. Of course, Maggard, only 3 tackles, 1 pass deflection, but he did have the interception and a decent return on that interception. Only 2 penalties in the game. That is massive for us. That is actually a fantastic day. Greer, 7 pancakes against the likes of Louisville is pretty dang good, and Brown with 5 himself. We did give up 4 sacks, but that's not a terrible number against a team that is so far above our prestige level, our ability level. That was a game that could have been ugly, and it wasn't pretty, but I'd say it wasn't anywhere near as ugly as it could have been. That's week 3 in the books, and we're going to continue on with our building towards recruiting. Kind of going straight away for best recruits I can get my hands on instead of a handful of, we'll go for them just because. And I think we can improve our recruit class rank a little bit from last season, maybe crack the top 75, especially with some more available. All right, Barger, above average. Neal, extremely good. 4-star guy. Only ones recruiting him so far, both of those guys. Extremely good again. About average. And all of them were the only ones recruiting them at this point. That's a terrible training report. Only 3 players with any improvement whatsoever. Come on, coaching staff. AKA me. Step it up. Alright, start with the recruits. Those are the guys we're no longer targeting. But let's look through the group that we are. Okay, we've got competition for Garmin, but there is some interest. It is Oregon, but it's same state. So keep an eye on that. I don't think that really moved up from where he was previously, which means we're probably just about done with him. But I still have scholarships left, and I'm not counting on getting this one. Here comes another. Oregon State trying to take away all of our guys. This one I think is highly unlikely, as it's only a 14 on the interest. There you go. And we do have some other centers. Okay, everybody knows that we're going after him, and there's a lot of interest. Wow, look at that. We've got a guy that's got a 55 on interest right now. Oh, I like it. And nobody else seems to be going for this 4-star quarterback as of right now. We don't quite seem to know everything about him, so we'll spend a few scouting points. Very little interest from this running back, but at the moment, we're all alone. Just how we like it. This fullback is starting to fall for us. He's got a little mini crush. He's thinking about it. We're not courting him too heavily, but he is a fullback. There's usually not a lot of competition, but we have to have one on roster. And we occasionally use them. Okay, report certainty is very low, and nobody else is going for him, so let's go ahead and the interview's done. We'll spend 15. There you go. That should take care of the current crop. And we only lost one this week. Alright, now we go to both. And, oh my goodness, I don't know. What did I leave off with? Let's see, we have wide receivers. We have one guard that we're after, and still after. Tackle we do not, so I think that's where we are. Tackle. How many tackles do I need? I need 2 tackles. USC. The nice thing about this method is I don't have to put as much effort in week 1 on recruiting, as I'm mostly getting players through picking up the scraps, getting the leftovers. To get the leftovers, you really don't need to do it until the final weeks. But if I could sign 1 or 2 guys earlier than that, and plus if I'm going to develop as a coaching staff or as a coach, I'm going to need that. And there you go, there's 2 guys. Do I want to, yes, I do want to offer scholarship right away. Sign points. Spend it all. Schedule interview. There you go. Okay, that's tackle. I need 1 center as well. I didn't necessarily need a center, but I still had the scholarships that were going to be available, and it made sense to just kind of get 1 per year, keep them rolling through. Somebody's going to be a top player, somebody's going to be a good backup, and other guys will end up falling by the wayside, but at 1 per year, you keep a good rotation. You could always redshirt somebody. So really that means 5 on the roster, or at least 4. There we go. Yuma, Arizona. And I had already given up on those 2 guys. I thought I had one. Oh, the not recruiting. I do have one that we're after. But I think I have room for an extra. That's a good high recruit rank, so we'll just do that. And let's see. Punter, I need. Kicker, I do not. So we'll look at punter. Last one, I don't have any, do I? Should probably look at all. There we go. No. Oh boy. 3 stars is the best we've got, huh? I would actually like to find a decent one. Is Camo not so good? Not so good. Definitely room for improvement with that guy. Okay. We're just about out of the points, so we'll go ahead and stop there for this week. Now, before we get through the next game, quick glance at the team schedule. We're going to have a rough stretch here. We've got the next 3 games on the road at UNLV, Air Force, and Boise State. We're looking most likely at losses against UNLV and Boise State. Air Force, we've got a chance. It's going to be a tough stretch. We very well could fall to 1-5 here and then have to try to bounce back on the back half of the season. We do have some easier, more winnable games. I'm not sure if we'll get to 5-7 this year or not. It could be a 4-8 kind of year, even though the team's better than it was a year ago. But we don't have as favorable a schedule as we had a year ago. And I think ultimately the team is significantly better than it was. But like I said, the schedule is what it is. And could be a little rough. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and do the box score only. Box score only. So we'll see what the results are. UNLV, slim chance. It's definitely not 0% chance. If we were at home, I would probably watch that game and give us a much better chance. And actually, we did it. Good first half, 27-16. And the team pulled it off. So we go to 2-2. I said slim chance. Apparently it was better than a slim chance. I suppose I'm not giving the team enough credit. I mean, we hung with Louisville, and Louisville would beat UNLV pretty handily. Pretty close, pretty balanced game. 19-17 on first downs. Yardage, a decent edge our direction. Completions, attempts, both teams struggling. But we did, just slightly better. Yards per rush definitely favored us. Our line seems to really be helping hold other teams' running games in check for the most part. Penalties, they were back this game, but for a change to previous seasons, we were at least pretty balanced compared to other teams. 4 turnovers. How did we win? 3 fumbles, 2 lost. Both teams matched that. We were intercepted 2 times. Time of possession, fairly balanced. Kind of surprised we actually won this game. How did we pull that off? Gabriel, 49-yard run. Kirkwood, 34-yard run. A little worried that Hiller... And actually, that makes me feel a little bit better because Ware, his day looks even better when you take out that 1 for 6. But hopefully he is not injured. Kirkwood, 126 yards, 19 carries. Gabriel, 125 on 14. Bounce back day for him, besides the one big carry in the last. They both had a touchdown apiece. Only one receiving touchdown, but a lot of catches spread out. 2 field goals, one from super close range. Camo, bad day punting again, but only 7 punts this time, not 18, 19, whatever the last game was. Meyer, massive day, 13 tackles, 3 for a loss. Jolly had 9 and 2, and a pass deflection. Atkinson with 8 tackles, so some guys stepping up that haven't been there before. Duffy, the usual suspect, 8 tackles, 1 for a loss, 2 sacks in this game. Cisco had 2 sacks. Ham and Soriano had 1, so we did a good job putting pressure on the quarterback, it would seem. Cisco with a forced fumble, Casillas with a forced fumble and recovery, Allen with a forced and recover, and then Kirkwood with a recovery, so was that a special teams recovery? If we had an offensive recovery, I don't know why it would be on here. A lot of penalties, at least they're spread out. Nobody had more than one themselves. Brown leading the way with 5 pancakes. While we didn't have a ton of pancakes, there was only 2 sacks allowed. So, job well done. 2 and 2. Air Force is another winnable game, and I'd bump our chances up a little. If we could beat UNLV, I think our chances of beating Air Force go even higher. Not considerably, but, a little bit. Add 5%, 10% to that. Conference awards, Duffy, Defensive Player of the Week. Recruiting 5, Summary Sandoval going to Washington State. Martz, really good potential. That's the 4-star guy we just pulled. Fay, tackle, average potential. Jordan, average. Joyner, average. Wide receiver, Barger, average. This is the average week, apparently. And Howe, incredible potential. He's ranked 34th. There's no way we're going to end up getting him right now. We're the only ones recruiting him, but there's no way that that's going to stand. That they're just going to leave him like that and give him to us. Good week for tackling practice. Number of players with improvement in that department. Alright, let's go like this. Let's review everything we have position by position so far, and then we'll kind of start focusing in on defense. Okay, that one's already done. This guy is looking decent. At 30. 2 tight ends that we're after. Competition for this signature. I think he was a 24 last week. A 25 this week. Not making rapid progress. No, we are not. And we're more likely to sign the guy who's an 8 than the 25. But no rush to deal with that at this point. One guard. Is that... No, I needed 2 guards. So I need one more guard. Port certainty, not quite there. Looking at two guys here. Allison's looking pretty good. This is the best we've had in a long time in terms of somebody actually wanting to sign with us before the final day of the season. Wait. Port certainty is 0. Interest jumped really quick. Puerto Rico might not be getting much attention. Alright, well, we haven't really touched defense yet, so there might be one or two guys scattered in there somewhere, but I don't think so. So we needed one more guard, so we start there. There you go. There's our guy. On to the defense. I need one defensive tackle. Whoa, the first guy on the list is not being recruited right now. So we might as well give it a shot, huh? Don't flirt with the chance. Defensive end. Another good one. Top 100 recruit. Chances of actually getting these guys are slim to none. Again, if nobody else steps up and starts recruiting them, I can get them. And we've got another Puerto Rican. Maybe that's should be my first go-to on recruiting. Grab all the best Puerto Ricans, knowing that nobody else is local to him and are less likely to jump in and try to sign those players. Okay, just one defensive end was necessary, so we'll stop there, and I suppose we could do one more position this week. Linebacker. Just one this season is necessary. Some years we need a couple. I know they do this in real life, but at the same time, I think there should be some level of unknown. Like, we shouldn't always know who the other teams are going after. There should be the potential that there's a couple schools that are in under the radar that are unknown on that recruiting. Alright, so that takes care of, let's see, we're 2 more games in. Yeah, let's go ahead and get one more quick one out of the way here with Air Force. Again, we are on the road for this. So we'll go ahead and simulate the week. We'll check the box score, and then that's probably where we're going to end up ending this episode with our 5th game of the season in the books. Yes. Oh, it's no powerhouse yet, but we are building ourselves a program. 28-14. All 28 scored in the first half. Only one score either side of halftime for Air Force. And we go to 3-2. Kirkwood with 2 touchdowns, 96 yards on 19 rushes. Let's go ahead and get into this one. So we've got Kirkwood, both scores in the first. And then in the second, it's Hennessy with a 3-yard run and Gabriel with a 1-yard run. So all 4 on the ground. And then they started playing catch up from there, down 28-0. First downs, third down efficiency, very close to the same. Yardage, we had a slight advantage. This was absolutely a defensive game. Neither team moving the ball well. We only had 24 attempts through the air. Kept it mostly on the ground. 190 on the ground. 52 attempts. Penalties, a little bit better today. Just 1 turnover. Nearly had 2. They had just 2 turnovers, but they nearly had 4. Ware did have an interception, but he still had a decent day. Kirkwood, definitely player of the game. The freshman, the true freshman. And that's kind of progress we're making. Last year's recruiting tactic, as scary as it was, it worked, and it's really paying off so far this season as this team is getting better and better. A lot of different receivers getting in on the action today. We had 1 attempt at a 50-plus yarder that was not converted. Camo, better day, about 43 yards per punt. Not sure why Clark took one, but he got 45 yards on that one. Duffy, big job on defense again, 8 tackles and a sack. Ham had 6 and 1 for loss and a fumble recovery. Quite a few pass deflections. We got an interception for Casillas. And Ware had a fumble recovery, so he picked up presumably his lost ball. Great job on keeping the penalties to a minimum and minimum impact type penalties, 5-yarders. Got 1 on Hennessy, a 9-yarder. That's most likely, from your own 18, half distance to the goal line type. Pancakes, lots of guys getting in, but only 1 with too many, with Keenan on 4, but only 1 sack allowed. 2 sacks going the other way, so not a huge number. This is what I was talking about with the penalties. Neither team having very many, but they had a few that had larger impact. A 10, a 17, 15-yarder. They out-pancaked us. They were hungry. But apparently we brought the syrup. Okay, check in on the emails. Allman. Incredible potential. Phillips, average. Extremely good. Above average. Above average. Training report looking better. Garcia. Not good. Boise State coming up. That's a really difficult game to win, but we're 2-0 on this road trip right now, so even losing that game to Boise State, not going to be a big deal now because we come out of it at 3-3 and 2-1 on a road trip. I mean, that's big. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the standings. In conference, we are 2-0 with that UNLV victory. We still have Fresno State coming up. They are ranked. That's the game after this Boise State game, so we really could fall to 3-4 at that point. And then we have Hawaii. Hawaii's struggling right now. They're 0-3, so we can turn that into a win and San Diego State into a win. We're going to be right back into a good position. We've got Nevada on the road. That won't be an easy game, but then we have New Mexico at home, and that's definitely a winnable game. And then Kansas at home. So we actually have a really good chance at getting right around 500 this season now after these 2 straight road victories. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.